Hello, hello. Welcome,
Hi,
Hi,
everyone.
everyone. I
hello.
see some
How are you guys
familiar
doing?
faces. Hi, Julia. I see you on screen. Thank you for turning on your camera. Love it. And thank you for everyone who's joining us even without your cameras. We have a very special guest today. Yes. So once again, guys, I see that the people are still joining us. Welcome to Vet Vibes live sessions, where we sit down with leaders of the industry and explore all sides of business, from SEO and Instagram strategy to mindset and inspiration. And with Barbie today, we're going to have the very interesting topic. I know that all of you curious about that. Before we dive in, you know the drill. Let's do what we always do here. Drop your name or your business name in a chat, where you're joining from, and your profession. The bonus points, if you can include your Instagram link. So we would love to connect and follow each other. So go ahead and light the chat on fire while I will be introducing our special guest of honor. So welcome, Barbie. Barbie
Thank you so
Walters.
much.
She runs, I want to say, one of the most sought after design firms, Lynden Lane, along with her two daughters, Lindsay and Lane. I know that the business is equally owned. You can correct me if I'm like,
Nope, I will. You're doing
yeah,
great.
but the business is equally owned, no designated lead,
Yep.
every role divided by skill, right?
Yes.
And together they produced weddings like all over the world. I want to say from Los Angeles to Mexico to Italy. And I know
Iceland.
actually that once you build Italy in Malibu for a
We did.
client who wanted the impossible. We're going to talk more about this
That's
today.
our favorite to do the
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah. Okay. And I know that you earned a reputation for events that are impeccably polished and genuinely great parties. Not one of the other, both. And fun fact I found about Barbie, once again, correct
Uh-oh.
me if I'm wrong, that it all started with a sugar shaker. That you
It
were
did.
young.
Oh, wow, you did a deep dive.
Yeah, that's what we do here. So then you were young, you traveled to Paris with your mom, and you went to tea. And
hmm
then sugar arrived in the antique shaker, and your mom told you that the great party, it's all in the details, little details that set apart actually a great party, right?
Yes.
And this has
Yep.
became a philosophy, and this philosophy later became Lyndon Lane.
Yep.
So today,
No detail, too small for us to obsess with.
yes, no detail too small. I love it. I love a good philosophy. I love a good story. Yeah, so today I feel like we diving into a conversation every photographer, videographer, floral designer needs to hear. We're going to try and pull back the curtain and ask Barbie how you actually get on Barbie's radar. What happens in this first connection, first booking that determines where you ever get called again. And if you work with someone once and they gone quiet, is there the way back? So the name of the session today, booked once, booked always. Let's get into it. Welcome, Barbie. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind introduction and the deep dive into my sugar shaker. I wish I still had that. My mom bought it and I had it for a long time, but it must be in a box somewhere, but I still love it.
Yeah, you still have it, and you have a great story. You see that
Yes, I do. I do.
you
Details,
can use
details,
for, yes,
details.
for the story of the business. Okay,
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to start with the most common, let's say, question that we actually get during our marketing sessions with all of our community members. We know that you work with ultra, like, we don't like the word luxury, but still,
Yeah.
like, let's say, high net worth clients, right? You're
Yeah.
designing this incredible projects like recreating Italy in Malibu, for example.
hmm
And the vendors in your world, they have to operate in a very specific level. And if someone, like the vendor you never worked before, reached out to you, and first of all, should it be DM or email? And what immediately can tell you that they understand this world and that you can work with them?
Well, understanding this world, I don't know if any of us understand the world of high net worth clients these days, but we we like getting DMs, like some, because it's sort of a slow build on a relationship and it causes us to pay attention a little bit. We also we get emails a lot to our hello at Lynden Lane. introducing themselves, sending us, if it's a photographer, sending us one or two galleries or just a little snippet of their work. And maybe if there's a connection, I always think that that's a really great, like, oh, they've worked with somebody else that they know we've worked with, a floral, a videographer, a venue, some connection so that we can make that
Hmm.
connection. We may not always have the opportunity to respond right away, or we may thank you and put it aside for the moment till we need it. Especially with the emails, we keep all of our emails and our assistant makes sure that we have them so we can be like, what about that person who sent us who had worked in Portugal or whatever? What
Hmm.
was their name? We'll go back and look. So I think making the introduction as specific to why you found us, like, oh, I saw your work or I know this person, gives it a more
Oh,
personal instead of just, oh, hi, I'm a photographer and I want to work with you. We get a lot of those, and yes, we file those too, but they don't resonate. And the DMs is kind of like a slow dating process. We just joke around and eventually do that. But immediately we go and look at your Instagram. I mean, to be perfectly candid, to see, are you working at the level that we might need? And I hate to say that because everybody deserves the same level, but have you
but
worked
still.
in the pressure of a
Hmm.
high production wedding? Have you worked with one of our peers that we can reach out and say, hey, Lisa, have you worked with them before? What did you think? So we look at your work. We look at, I mean, that's the first thing, whatever vendor you are, floral, whatever.
Hmm.
We're gonna look at your work and see, and then it's gonna stick with us.
Okay, so
Hmm.
the first one, you have to update your profile and like be consistent in posting on Instagram,
Yep.
and because that's important.
Right.
People do look into Instagram, not a website. And the second, I love that you mentioned the referral, right? If
Yeah.
I've worked with the venue that you already know, I know that you already had projects there as well, or like with a designer. So trying to find some sort of connection.
Some sort of connection and something that
Mhm.
also would tell us the level of work you've done. Oh, I've worked with, you know, um, I'm trying to think of I've worked with Pina Floral, and I
Yep.
did and here's some of her work. Okay, I know what Pina expects
Hmm.
from her vendors and her partners. So that gives me sort of a gauge, if you will. It's not that that's only thing that's important, but it's something that's an easy reference point, I would say. That's probably one of the first things we're going to look at when we're talking
Hmm.
with people.
Mm,
So,
I see. I feel like also one of the insights is to get noticed, you gotta dig deep, just like Dario did before the
you
session
do.
with the sugar shaker, right? You gotta know your the people you're reaching out to and just kind of imagine yourself on the other end. What would you like to hear? How would you like to get noticed or appreciated for your work? Or how can you stand out from the crowd in your unique style, unique let's say locations you work at, or maybe specific projects you worked at? So
Yeah,
I
so
just,
be genuine in that
yeah, yeah.
response to us, why did you do it? This is a big conversation we're all having in the wedding world right now, but don't make it an AI, form thing that everybody gets and we all know it's safe. I was just with a group of peers on a little retreat, four of us or five of us, and we
Hmm.
all got the same email at the same time. And it just changed the name. It was I will
The
leave
name.
the person out. And we were like, well, that doesn't make you feel very special, does it? It was like exactly the same. So do a little bit of homework and know that we're not ignoring you. It's just a matter of we get a lot of those and we're trying to parse through them to see. And we just also candidly in this world, there's in the high net worth, we're probably all doing, and it's crazy right now, but maybe 4 events, 6 events a year. So I
Hmm.
don't have a volume of business that I'm turning over all the time.
Yeah,
That's
that's
something to
true.
Hmm.
take in consideration too. Especially photographers who work with so many people, you guys have a lot more opportunity than we do.
Mm. Yeah, that's fair. And I feel like it also kind of segues
Yeah.
us into the next question on how do you normally explore new vendors to work with? Because you already mentioned that you guys are going through all the emails and you get a lot of DMs, and you obviously
Mhm.
look into that, who's reaching out. But is there like a primary channel? And then also you touched on it's good to have connections with some of the people that you already know to kind of be
Mhm.
referred through them, or at least have been working like on the same project with them. So
Mhm.
are there any, let's say, specific channels that you source new people from to work with?
I would say referral is our number one
Hmm.
source from other planners or whatever who say, "Oh my
Hmm.
God, I just found this person in San Francisco area that is friggin' amazing. They're just starting out. Maybe they're not going to be, for your biggest production, but you should definitely look at them." So, um,
Hmm.
I would say you never know as a creative partner that the job you're working on may be the referral to myself or to, someone else that's doing luxury weddings. That might be somebody that's maybe not quite at that same dollar point for their clients. And
Hmm.
but they're going to tell us about you. So I think that's one of our biggest trusted thing is referral from other creatives.
Hmm.
Um, like sometimes we always ask photographers about videographers.
Hmm.
Um, and we are always looking for new things, but at the end of the day, it's hard for us because we're trusting you with our clients. So we're picky at that.
Hmm.
Once we're really vetting a new vendor for a possible outreach to a client, we're doing a pretty deep dive on you, on
Hmm.
your work, on your Instagram. We're asking for um,
Background check, basically.
Yeah.
background. Yeah, that's right. Full on background check. We ask if anyone's worked with them, what was their relationship with, all of those things, because those are really what are going to flesh out not just your work. Obviously, that's huge, but then how are you going to fit in with the team? How are you going to show up for our clients? That type of thing. So
Hmm.
once we're going to refer you to a client, trust me, we will have chatted with you lots of times and done our due diligence on you.
Yeah, because you have a lot of responsibility. Yeah, and
We
the
do.
stakes are
And
high. Hmm.
yeah, we are turning over when you think about being one of our creative partners or being Thomas's creative partners or whomever, we are handing you our most precious commodity, which is our reputation, and entrusting you to do a great job with it. And we're turning, our client over to you.
Hmm.
So yes, all of us are picky, but that's because you hold what our job's going to look like in your hands. So um, know that we're not trying to be so hard nosed, but that's why, because exactly, if I refer a photographer and then I was going to say something not nice. They're a raving lunatic on the job or whatever. The client doesn't maybe is not happy with them, but they hold us responsible.
Hmm.
They hold us
That's true.
responsible for everything. So we're
Yeah,
picky.
absolutely. And so Barbie, we run like lots of marketing sessions and we constantly trying to, let's say, break the circle, right? And
Right.
there's like all the, let's say, the creatives who want to work with planners. And
Hmm.
uh, can you please also share your opinion on the strategy that we call give first? So what we usually recommend everyone to do is to, of course, we know that the stakes are super high and you cannot risk it. Then you work with a client. But what if someone will reach out and say, "Okay, Barbie, I know that you're going to this event, for example, networking event. Can I do your makeup?" Or I'm a
You can always do my
photographer.
makeup.
Yeah, can but some like something
Yes.
like as a photographer, like can I do the photo shoot for you and your daughters, like the portraits because like I've noticed that you didn't post yourself so much lately, right? And I just want to give you like more photos. Like, will it work? Or like maybe invite you to their podcast. So because we constantly talk about this, but I want to hear your opinion.
Um, I want to say yes, because I love to get my makeup done and things like that. But I will say that unless it's just like the right circumstances, it it
Hmm.
it doesn't really do anything because we're all so busy. You guys are too. So then it's
Hmm.
causing us to stop in our day. Like when people DM us all the time, can you go for a coffee? It seems so simple, and I don't mean to be like, oh, we're so, but literally this morning on the way in, I had to call Lindsay and say, do I have time to stop and get a coffee myself, just driving through Starbucks before I get to the office? And she's like, yeah, you've got time. And I'm like, that's a perfect example of when people are blowing up our DMs. Can I take you to coffee? Can I take you to a cocktail? I love that. I'm so appreciative, but we don't have any time. And when we do have free time, we want to spend it with our families or just about
Yeah.
lounging on the couch. Um, I do think like looking at where the planners or whomever you're trying to connect with are going to be and you being there. I mean, nothing is better than being on a fam trip with someone. Nothing is better than um, being at Engage, being at Kindred, being at one of these social things where I actually
Mhm.
can meet you, chat with you, have a cocktail with you, have coffee with you before we go on a walk in the morning. Do those things is putting yourself in those places. I mean, that's what we did. That's how we started. We
Mhm.
were like, oh, where are the people that we want to be associated with? They're at Engage, they're at these things. And we went and then made that personal connection because I think planners are in the mindset that there are there as well looking to connection. So use networking events for exactly what they're for. And they don't have to be the engages that are, that you have to take a second mortgage on your house to go to these days. But they can be a local one. They can be, like I said, the kindreds, the entrusted. There's a lot of them out there right now that are doing really
Yeah.
good work and spend time there. I think that's your best investment. Much better than sending me a present or some I like presents, but doing things, that's where I'm gonna make a connection with you.
Okay, searching for Barbie's address for the present. Okay.
Yeah, right.
This is,
You're like
but
Barbie's bribing people. No,
yeah.
no, I really do think your best investment, and you get lots of them at one time.
Yeah.
And you can pick out. But I will tell you, I've said this before on podcast. I'm going to flip the script and say how we did it is we knew who we wanted to be associated with their work. We knew what floral teams we wanted to have do our florals. But we weren't at that level yet to get the clients to hire them. And we had like
Hmm.
a targeted list on our whiteboard. And we made every effort to meet them, talk to them, spend money to get the client, like for a photographer, like making sure that we had enough money in the budget for Sarah or whoever it was one time so that we could then be connected with that person. So be strategic in those and really look
Hmm.
for whose business you want, and what you want to do. But I think the networking are probably the best value.
Yeah, absolutely. And we love that they're on the rise right now. Like you said, there are like so many of them in every
There,
city
there
and
are.
every
There's so
country.
many.
Yeah. Shameless plug. We're also hosting two
Yeah.
events this year.
There you go.
So
There's another
please
one for
join.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Going forward to the next question, Barbie, if let's imagine I'm one of the new vendors on your team who just
Mhm.
made it to a new project and earned enough trust to be tested, let's say in real life. Uh, what are some of the things that maybe you're expecting from me that I don't know you are expecting from me as a planner?
Well, you'll probably know because we'll tell you, but I mean, our biggest thing is that when we're bringing a new person into the flock, that they're going to be professionals, obviously, but that they know that we really run our events as teams and we respect for each other, us to them to us, them to the client, them to the bus boy, whatever it is. Like that's something we're constantly watching for, because we value the people we work with very much, not our client. I mean, yes, we value our clients, obviously, but we value our vendors highly and we want to make sure that they are treated really well. And so that not only comes from us, that comes from other vendors. And there have been scenarios where we have stumbled upon a situation, walked up on a conversation or something where someone was being unkind or disrespectful to somebody. That just does not fly in our world. The job is stressful enough. We're not going to deal with that. So we're watching how you interact with the staff, with everyone all the time. And read your friggin' timeline. I mean, all of us, we talk about timelines. We all make timelines.
Yep.
Everyone wants the timeline. And then 55 times a day, what time does it have to be ceremony ready? I'm like, oh my God, it's on the timeline.
Immediate red flag.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
ask
Well,
what time is the ceremony.
sometimes it's me. So Lane and Lindsay are going to fire me. I'm like, what time do we have to be over there? But do read your timelines. It's
Yes,
important.
please. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
some people put
And
it on
take
the
care
lock
of
screen of
yourselves.
their iPhone. It's so convenient. You
It's
just
so convenient.
unlock it and
We
you
have
see
them
it.
on iPhones. We have all different methods of
Hmm.
doing it. And then take care, take responsibility and we're looking for people that don't need us on wedding day, if you will. They're
mhm,
responsible for their job. They know what their job is. They're not just looking to see what time the vendor meal is. They're a photographer. They probably still have some snacks in their thing because maybe something went sideways and we've got to get shots. And they're not whining that, oh, I have to stop and do this right now or eat. So we're looking for self-starters, for people that are able to handle the stresses of a wedding. All weddings are stressful, but add a huge production on top of the normal crazy. Um,
mhm.
and then it's insane. So, like, oh shoot, we can't shoot this now because they're not done building it. So we're gonna have to wait a minute, so I need you to be able to go with the flow
Yeah,
easily.
absolutely. Because it's a teamwork, and
It's total team.
it's perfectly orchestrated, but we know it's a human factor. Like everything happens, and like everything is late, and
Well, we always laugh. I'm like, people always like, it's like a perfect orchestra. And I'm like, yes, the orchestra you see on Instagram is when they're actually playing. But when you get there early and they're all tuning their instruments and it sounds like chaos, that's what a wedding day looks like. It looks like, because
before the
everyone's
guests
doing,
arrive.
yeah,
Yeah.
before all at once it all comes together. So I need you to go with the flow while we're all tuning our instruments. So we're looking for people, you know, that are good at their job.
Yeah, absolutely. And being like the good teamwork is like we have tons of examples, and the photographer helped move the table, for example, or
Yes.
like you said, they prepared with snacks, and
Yes.
because like sometimes the food can
Or
be delayed.
yeah, or manage the family shots because
Whatever
sometimes
they do.
the planners do that. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Or all at once someone's like, "Oh my God, the bride ripped her dress," and the somebody else's used to be a seamstress. I mean, we always have stylists on board, but you know what I'm saying? Like, just it might not be their job, but they're like, "I could fix that for them. Let me
Hmm.
do it." That really stands out to us a lot. We're the same way, like, "Oh, we'll help," but we've had other companies help us tear down stuff because a vendor didn't show up to do something.
Hmm.
They stepped in and did what needed to be done. And I think that's what we're looking for. Someone that's just going to step in, get what needs to be done at that
Hmm.
time, because there's no time to chit chat about it.
Yep. And in terms
And
of
get it done.
delivery, do you have like any maybe like recent great examples that somebody genuinely impressed you? We talked to a photographer. I don't know how common it is for a wedding, but she made this ex gave us this example that like whenever she arrives to the venue, she comes to everyone, to the planner, to the floral designer, I don't know, even the band, and ask them, okay, what kind of specific shots do you want? And adding them
Oh,
like to the checklist. And of course we're going to argue about like the immediate delivery, like give you like the 50 photos the day after, or some maybe
right.
like some examples that you had that somebody genuinely impressed you, and it also made you think like, oh yes, I want to work with them again because they over delivered.
Let me think. I feel like we've had so many of those. Like, I feel like our vendors are great and they really do step up. We've had people that weren't on our team and we
Hmm.
had something happen. Like, we had, I think I've used this before, but I think it's a good example. We've had similar ones where we had a client that did not want a videographer, no matter how much we begged them to have a videographer, and they didn't want one. And then at the last minute, like, day before we're leaving for the event, they decide they want one. And we're like, and so we had to put out an all points bulletin, and somebody was like, I'm on that side of the United States, I can be there, we'll do it for the whatever, our airfare or whatever. And they just really filled in that gap for us. And I still refer that person out all the time because I was impressed with their like ability to step in. I think that when you're
Hmm.
looking, um first, like I said, first and foremost, doing your own job. I don't like from photography. I would want to know if you're going out and asking everyone for shot lists because I don't want you to take time away from the shot list I gave you or that the client
Hmm.
wants. So I want that. It's really communication. Like how can we had a photographer one time who sent an extra person to do a behind the scenes. And it was hysterical.
Hmm.
Like they were in the war room with us. I was like, well, we're gonna have to burn all this video. But it was really fun. It was almost like a blooper reel, but of funny things. Like so it was enjoyable and funny, and we're all looking for that. So some personality is really nice, show us a little bit because we like to have a good time.
Yeah, personality willingly, as Dina mentioned in the chat. Yeah, it's team to make. We're all a team to make the client's wedding a success.
Right.
Absolutely, and maybe like some extra nuggets. And I feel everyone supposed to be the content creator right now who have one.
Everybody's a content creator right now.
Yeah, so if you invite one maybe with
Um,
you and also give like some backstage to the planner, right? Also can help you.
yes, it can be great, but ask the planner before you post it.
Yes, absolutely.
Always
Ask
ask the
first.
planner before you ask first, because we'll be like, oh my God, did I really say that on camera? No, but like find ways to go above and beyond. I mean, it's the same as anything. I'm sorry, I'm not able to give specific examples of it, but it's such a crazy event day. So we just need people that are willing to do whatever. That's really what
Hmm.
hmm hmm And is there something that kind of touches on the previous question as well, but is there something that makes you kind of cross off somebody off your list? This is like no-nos. You already mentioned being disrespectful and
Yeah,
maybe
I
like
was gonna say you're out.
unreliable. Yeah, yeah. But is there anything else that maybe we could also add to the list?
Being a diva, being,
Mm-hmm.
being the celebrity
Mm-hmm.
themselves. Um, and planners are guilty of this too. I see it. There's a whole thing going on right now with that. We're not. I'm constantly like, we're not our clients. We work
Hmm.
for them too. So, and the same with the photographer, the floral or whatever. And I have seen it at all levels. We did a wedding for a friend, and it was a much more economical budget, name not to be mentioned photographer. And this photographer was such a diva that I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I need you to step back for a second. She was telling, nope, we're not going to do this. Nope, we're not going to do this. She was bossy. She was, I need to take this. And I was like, and I'm like
Hmm.
super easygoing. So anyone that wants to be the star of the show, there's only two stars of the show. It's whoever the two people are that are getting married. Everybody else is there as support. I feel the same about the bridesmaids and all of them. So, yeah, don't be a diva. Well, we have D bad, don't be a dick. That's basically our motto on wedding day. Like, what? Show up, do your job.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And have your own snacks so you will not
Have your own snacks. I mean,
yeah.
we're gonna feed you. We trust me, if Lindsay is on the job, we're all gonna eat a million times because we like food and we have plenty of food and we take great care of our vendors. I just sometimes it's like it's a long day and things get messed up and you have to eat. So we have tons of food. Don't worry. If you work for us, we will feed you a lot.
Knew that. Yeah, I see that snacks are yeah
Snacks are
also
Yeah,
important.
the
They
taking
chat got
are.
some
excited.
And
info.
water. We're constantly walking around being like, did you drink water? Did you drink water? I'm the
Yeah.
designated mom on job.
Oh, okay. So some scenario that we also see happens often with planners, at least like as we hear it from the once again members from our community. They say, "Okay, I have this planner. We worked together maybe once. It was a great project. I delivered everything. I think they liked it genuinely. They liked my job. And oh, I don't know if Barbie's here.
Yes, please. Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, you first. Okay. So imagine the scenario. Yeah, once again, from the photographer, floral designer, cake artist perspective, if they had to work with you, they had a project
Mhm.
with you, everything then great in their opinion. But then no follow-up, no new clients coming, no new inquiries coming. What could be like the genuine follow-up? We already had a project together. Maybe it was a year ago, and I still want to work with you. How should
Yeah.
I come back to you and ask like
Yeah.
what should I do maybe?
And let me say this. You would know from us if there had been a problem. Like we
Hmm.
would be like, we would tell you this got effed up, whatever. Um, this was an issue for us. But if you don't hear, I mean, we'll tell you how great it was afterwards and communicate. But if you don't hear from us, touch base with us definitely. But it's probably not a case of we don't want to work with you. It's a case of, like I said, we only have 4 to 6 clients. Maybe stylistically, they're not vibe. Let's say it's floral, maybe stylistically that client isn't vibing. Their styles aren't right. So there's lots of reasons. So don't take it personal at all.
Hmm.
Just reach back out and go, hey, it's been a while. Any opportunities coming up? What do you guys got? I'm going to be in the Midwest. I'm going to be in the mountains, whatever it may be, but definitely just
Hmm.
reached out. And I'm not saying this for us, so say this for someone else, especially in the photography world. We've
Hmm.
had um, client photographers actually refer us, which is obviously the most wonderful compliment in the world. And
Yes.
I think that sometimes you guys are getting the photographers are getting the lead before we are, especially as you move your way up. But for all marketplaces, you might have a lead, and if there's a planner that you know is up and coming or is making, maybe you refer to them sometimes. I mean, we're always
Hmm.
incredibly grateful when we get a referral, a genuine referral.
Hmm.
And we've had,
Yep.
and we do all levels of weddings, so we always, so I'm saying that, just saying, like, don't always think it's a one-way street. Like, think about
Hmm.
ways
Hmm.
that you could refer business to them as well.
I think it's coming back to the point. I love that you talked about Instagram, that it's a dating, right?
It
And
is, it is.
we constantly talk about it's kind of like for the planner, how many, like for example, photographers will you give to the client? Maybe five
Oh, yeah,
maximum.
usually 3.
Usually free, right? So you
Mhm.
have to be like on the radar constantly, like on top of mind. And here, I feel like maybe if you just staying in touch, maybe on social media, commenting whatever's
Mhm.
happening on this person's stories, post, congratulating
Right,
them with something, right? So basically, it's like congratulations with, I don't know, anniversary, birthday, whatever. It's
right.
once again, it's a dating, but in dating success, it's like whenever you listen and you should actually give the interest to the person, right? So it's
Right, right. So chatting like we were saying on DMs and getting to know each other.
Mhm,
Um, and like for us, people are always like, am I talking to you or am I talking to Lane? I'm like, you're talking to Lane normally, but I'll put a B behind it. But we like the banter, and then when
mhm,
we meet somebody, we're like, oh my God, you have the cutest puppy in the world. The human connection happens there. But yeah, just keep like, what was I just going to say? Sorry, keep going. I lost my train of thought, but I'll get back to it in a
Yeah.
second.
But I feel like our next question was kind of also touching on that. What are the good ways to be top of mind? We already touched on, like, let's say being following up on email and kind of staying in touch there, or maybe reacting to your stories, commenting, liking,
presence.
yeah, supporting. Yeah, but also maybe there are other ways to kind of rub shoulders, get in touch with you to be on your radar.
I think, again, I think the networking are the best
Hmm.
ways. I think, again, remembering if you want to get into the luxury market, ultra luxury market, or high net worth, or whatever words we're using to describe this world, um, you are going to have to court, you're going to have to be cameras. You're going to have lots of us because we don't do that much work. I only have 4 to 6 weddings, so I don't have that much to give out.
Hmm.
And we're also very loyal too. So the people that are in our world and worked hard to get a connection. I'm not going to necessarily just throw them to the wayside because I did a wedding, you know. So it's a long, this is a long game. And I think this is a bigger conversation, but in the industry and with Instagram and instant gratification of everything, we all are like, oh, we moved up. I mean, I've been doing this for 15 years and my first wedding
Hmm.
cost $150. Like, I didn't start here. It took me a long time. And it's a road like the a path like this, you know, you get and then you kind of dip down and you get so
Roller
Hmm.
coaster. Hmm.
yeah, it's a roller coaster and the market changes right now. The market's really weird for people. So I think that you have to be playing the long game and know, even if you got a wedding with Lynn, let's use that for example,
Hmm.
that doesn't mean you're in that market forever. You got your toe in there. Now you're going to have to keep going back to that well multiple times. So I think you have to be willing to play the long game and stay in this business. And I know we're not only talking to photographers, but there's a lot of photographers in this business that come and go really quickly. And so you do start to notice the ones that have staying power. We always joke
Hmm.
if we removed all the photographers from our Instagram feed, we wouldn't have any followers. There's just so many. I'm always like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of photographers. So you have to be willing to play the long game. This is not,
Hmm.
this is not, oh, I got a job and now I'm a success. It's over and over and over
And now we
again.
can
Yeah, it's
sit
a
back
marathon.
Yeah,
and
now we can sit
relax.
back. I keep waiting for that part where I can sit back and relax. You're only as good as your last job.
True.
Same for you guys. And so, you know, like I said, there isn't I wish every time I try to answer this question, I know everyone's looking for that. If you did this, this would happen. And I would be lying to you. It's not that. It is all of those things together and then being present for a time, showing up for a long time
Hmm.
in people's Instagrams and such, and doing the good work.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We love to say that your like last project is basically the resume or like CV to your next one.
Yep, it
And
is.
speaking on the, once again of some, I know that planners right now, yes, you have like lots of work and um, social media is the huge pain in the ass, excuse my
It
language.
is.
And what if, for example, from photographers, content creators, like photo designer, everyone who's listening to us, from the perspective, if we consider the last project as a resume to the next one, will it help if they will also take care of, let's say, submissions to the blogs, to the medias, if they will deliver like, or they will tag you, invite you as collaborators? Will it help if they will, let's say, take care of the exposure of the project, of the promotion of the project?
Definitely, but I think that I'm only going to speak from our
Mm.
standpoint. Lane's a control freak on our social media. Lane's a control freak on everything, but in specific on our social media. So she's going to want to have a conversation, and we will have a conversation with like how we're going to roll this out. What content do we want to go out there first? I mean, we've had instances and we still don't know exactly how the other person got the pictures because the photographer's like, I didn't give them to him. But another vendor was posting before we posted. And we're like,
Hmm.
Where'd that come from? So I think when you're doing, yeah, it was a little bit, I mean, it wasn't horrible, it wasn't the end of the world, but it still was like, what are you doing? I feel like
Hmm.
as the planner and the creative director, we're working together to make a smart, strategic rollout of our content and what we want it to look like, and then maybe do the behind the scenes and the fun things.
Hmm.
Um, and I think also like with collaboration posts, I think those are tricky. I think they really have to be coordinated because like we'll get tagged in a collaboration post and a lot of times we don't accept the collaborations, not that we don't want to, it just doesn't fit into that social media cycle that we have
Yep.
going right then. And
Hmm.
so all at once, you could have a whole story you're telling, and then you have something else pop into it that doesn't make sense. We're very strategic with our social media and how it's presented and what the story is and what our voice, and also with collaboration, it's a little weird because it's somebody else's voice on your
Yeah.
post. So you have to make sure that you have the right voice there. So I think in social content, when you're working with high net worth clients, also, so many times there's very specific rules about what we can post and what we can't. Obviously, you're going to know if there's an NDA, but sometimes there's like mini NDAs, like we have to have an approved gallery that if it has people in it that can be put out, blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
So again, communicating. I'll tell you what planners don't like surprises. We just don't like surprises. We don't like to open up Instagram like, oh, shit, that's our work. Why is that over there? Like, so just communication is the main thing. Like, oh, is this cool? Like, what do you guys think about this? And not that we're the queens and we control everything, but it makes us all better because it's a better
Yeah, and
Mm.
story for everybody. And then it's like everywhere in it. So just coordinate
I
together.
feel
mhm.
like I feel like as a vendor, I would also feel let's say I already know your inbox is like overwhelmed with a lot of
Mhm.
things, and asking you about one more thing, if like I should post this or that, is it too much or is it completely fine?
Right. You don't have to ask us on everything. I just think at the end of the wedding, and usually Lane will address this during our creative meetings with the whole team at the weddings. You know, we have breakdowns,
Hmm.
how we're going to do it, you know. And then once it's out there, then things start to, go, not, I shouldn't go awry or looser, but in that,
Hmm.
especially if it's a really big production wedding,
Hmm.
Hmm.
we're gonna want to like so we did that big wedding in Palm Springs, which had like six different crazy events. We don't want the after party being shown before we showed the tennis party. Like we kind
No.
of want to tell that story or at least be the main narrator of it. So we'll talk to you about
Hmm.
it. We're not telling you how to, you all run your own businesses and I trust you to do, the right things, but for all of us collectively, I think
Hmm.
the more we
Yeah,
communicate
there are
with
just key
someone,
points to be coordinated,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you guys
just the
coordinate
key
upfront.
points.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to be
Hmm.
like, oh, can I show this picture? Um, and obviously we're all working with the higher net worth. There's a more likely there's going to be some stricter guidelines because of the client and
Hmm.
what
Yeah,
we're
absolutely.
allowed.
Because you're the main point of contact, and you know
Right,
everything.
right.
Like you
And the
said, like
client
mini
might,
SDAs. Hmm.
yeah, and the client might be like, no, none of this can go out till I approve it. We have a lot of that. Not necessarily
Hmm.
pulling, like they're not going to say no, but they want to see it first. Because then
Hmm.
they're behind the scenes people. People have their own story, and we're
Yeah.
coordinating with them. So it's a big Jenga puzzle.
Hmm.
That's
But
true.
again,
Yeah.
just talking it through, asking the planner, what do you have a social media plan? What do you want us to do? What's okay, what's not? In general, is
Yeah.
is a
Hmm.
good practice. Like I said, planners don't like surprises.
Yeah. So you see,
Hmm.
communication is the key in all the steps in the
Every
beginning. Then
every
you,
single thing in
yes,
life.
genuinely interested, and you like DM in comment and stories during the
Mhm.
project. If like then you ask like how can I be in service? Like how can I
Mhm.
help? How can I make it better? And
Right,
after, like, right, also initiative is super welcome. Yes, you can send like this project to the media publication, but please discuss it before. Maybe the
right,
planner has something in mind, something different in
right.
mind. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
or they might have it, though I would hope they would have let you know, but they might have it placed already, or they are courting a placement for it. And then if you went as a photographer and tried to place it, it could cause a conflict. Not as much anymore as before when we had actual publications. That used to be more of an issue, like you had to hold it. But
hmm.
still, you know, and sometimes like the couple have like some social strat, like they're going in, they have a in with People or God forbid Vogue or something like that.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And then we have
Hmm.
to take it down. We can't say we did it. Sorry,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
get on my
Because
Vogue.
couples, they're influencers on their own today.
Yes, yes,
They
yes.
also
So
have their own strategy.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. Don't go rogue on us. That's all we ask.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like we covered most of the questions we wanted to ask, and we had prepared for this session. We wanted to kick off the Q&A as well. and maybe ask some questions from the chat. Everyone who's listening, you guys have a react button on the button. You can raise hand and ask a question with your camera on if you want, but I will kick it off. Or also you send it to the chat if you're shy and you don't like to speak in public. But I will kick it off. I have a question for you, Barbie. I wonder what is your let's say next big thing creatively? Are you looking into certain destinations you're excited to work at, or maybe I don't know, floral design, or just some kind of decor, or maybe the way the events flow? Is there anything you're interested in right
Or
now to
conquering
try?
new social media
Yeah.
platforms like
Right,
TikTok.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I don't know. We really want to do something in like Austria or Switzerland or
Mm,
I don't
Mhm.
know. I mean, we're always up for like what, as everyone is, what hasn't been done, what isn't new, like the far afield. Last year we had Iceland. I'd like to do something. We're always looking for that. So like an
mhm.
interesting story. I don't know, just, interesting clients, things that aren't AI generated.
Yeah.
Oh
Like
yeah, that's it.
tell a real story,
Yeah.
creative content that is truly built upon creation that comes from your brain. Um, so we have a giant wedding coming up in Aspen, amazing family. So we're excited about that one. Um, Courting a few things in Portugal. So we're always, but a lot of the
Mhm.
states
Yeah. But
are
is
fun.
if everyone has a connection, like anyone has a connection in Switzerland or Austria, like with
Yeah,
venues?
let me know that. There's a
Hmm.
good in with me because I really, really, I don't know why I'm just like stuck on that. I was stuck on Scotland. Everyone's like, you can't, it rains all the time, Barbie. I was like, well, we'll do it in a castle. I can do that.
Yeah.
I want to go. It must have been my Outlander
Yeah. Like a
Hmm.
fairy tale. Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, exactly. Or doing something like in a city that's, I don't know, just something that is evocative of the couple and not evocative of Instagram, if that makes
Mm.
sense.
Yeah,
Yes.
love
It's
it.
like
Just something
Instagram is our
authentic.
life business, but I'm really always just intrigued with someone that really has a story to tell
Love
amongst
it.
themselves.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, and I will kick off the questions from the chat. Okay, the question from Julia.
Okay.
Then working with a
Uh-huh.
planner for the first time, how should vendors
Mhm.
approach conversations about referral fees or commissions? Is it something that planners typically brings up, or should vendors initiate this discussion?
Eek. I'll speak
That's
for us. We're not going to bring
yeah.
it up ever.
Hmm.
So if you are thinking that you want to do that for a vendor, I mean a planner, I think then you would say, I'm offering you X or whatever. Our personal thing is we never want something that's going to make our clients' costs go up. So we would never ask, especially a vendor like a photographer or a sole entrepreneur. We're
Hmm.
respectful. You guys all do this for a living, so do we. So we're not coming to you to dip into your bucket.
Hmm.
But I would say ask, the planners are expected are going to ask you.
Yeah,
You have
it's
to
just a
ask them.
difference. Like we know that in different countries, planners work like they have a different scenarios. Some do
Right,
accept
right.
commission, yeah, some don't, and I feel like
Someone
it's not
just told
American
me
thing.
in certain countries in Europe, like, aren't you taking commission on F&B? And I'm like, I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I didn't know that was, no, I'm not. And they're like, ding dong, you need to be. So sometimes we don't know. But we're paid on a percentage, so we are paid well usually for our clients. So that's not the first thing that comes to our mind, and that's never why we choose a vendor, ever.
Hmm.
So
Okay, thank
if
you.
you were already brought on board, please, and you want to ask us if we would, um, just ask. But that's never, for us personally, that's never a reason why we're picking you, because we're going to make more money than with somebody else.
Yeah, yeah. It
Sometimes
just
that
like
hurts.
we understand
Sometimes
that
my
the
accountant wants me to do it the other way, but I'm not going
yeah.
to.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we just know that everyone works differently, so it's like no shame in asking
No,
and
no, and
just
wouldn't be
checking.
offended at all if somebody asked us and would be flattered that you would be willing to do that. So I think if they don't bring it up and it's something that you feel that you want to do, then certainly ask them. No one
Hmm.
ever is hurt by that question.
Absolutely. Okay. Hmm. Alex, do you want to read
Sounds
the
good.
next one?
Yeah,
Yep.
I see a question from Viet. How important is social media presence to you? What if the vendor is a referral from a trusted colleague, but they don't have any social media presence at all?
Um, that's a good one. I would ask why they don't have any social media preference. I mean, there's a very famous planner who has no social media and probably gets the best clients that all of us all dream about all the time with no social
Hmm.
media whatsoever. So God bless them, and I wish I was them. But if a if a vendor came to me like a photographer and had no social media, I would want to know why. And then I'd want to see galleries separately. Like, I don't believe in social media. I've only done NDA, whatever. And then we would ask for galleries. But a personal referral or another creative partner referral is our favorite way to
Hmm.
get a new partner, a new creative partner, to find somebody we haven't worked with. And honestly, there's somebody I'm working with now, actually going all the way around,
Hmm.
um, who is very unknown but incredibly talented. And I got him from Joel told me about him. Just like, there's this
Hmm.
kid
Hmm.
that's friggin' amazing. Like, look at him. And I've used him on 2 jobs now. No social media.
No social
Mm,
media. Okay.
Very little, very little. If you know, it's kind of like if you know, you know, like he's the
Hmm.
cool kid. And so he's kind of like around the background. He's not your average everyday type, like not everybody would want him, but so there's a perfect example of it. He didn't really have social media, but it was a personal referral. And then knowing his clients, now I know why he doesn't have social media per se. And it made sense. But I trusted the referral source
Hmm.
above, knowing that I wasn't able to see a ton of his work.
Yeah. Do you have these examples then the couples actually bring the photographer to you? Like they say,
I
oh,
oh, that's what I was going to say earlier.
yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
A lot of our clients come to us with their photographer.
Oh, okay. So
mm,
they actively, so it's maybe social media presence important to them, like how
Yes,
active you are.
they've, I actually, in my inquiry process, it's the question I almost always ask is there a photographer or photographers that you've already reached out to or that you really want to work with? Because especially um, if it's, a girl or a client, I shouldn't say a girl, a couple that really want a certain look or what they may have been following X photographer forever and a lot of times have already reached out to them. So I would say 50% of the time, our clients come with who they want. Do they
Hmm.
always get
mm.
them because they're not available? And then we have to then we're looking for someone similar in style and personality. But yeah, I would say a lot of time our clients. So for you guys, again, your social media is super important because the clients
Hmm.
often will contact the photographer before us,
Yeah, it feels
before they
like
have
yeah, it
Oh,
feels like they sourcing the inspiration from photographers mostly.
they
They're
do.
like the modern
mhm,
day influencers in our industry.
Yes,
Um,
mhm.
yeah. So you guys, I'm going to be courting you guys to get referrals because they're going to all come to you. But yeah, a lot of them come with photographers or their wish list, which also lets me know about their budget because I'm
mhm.
like, oh,
Mhm.
did you talk to them? Yes. Oh, good. How did you feel? Great. Or like, oh my God, they were so expensive. And then I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, we're not gonna work together. It
No,
is in our
no, just I'm like,
budget.
okay, now I know I know where we're gauging things.
Yeah. Alex, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I had a
Yeah.
question. Is it frequent that they bring their own photographer that is not a wedding photographer?
Like a fashion photographer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like their
Lot of
friend that shoots for just
it.
for fun? Probably
For
not.
fun.
I'm gonna totally sound like a bitch now. They do, and then usually we're like, and no. Um, I mean, we'll vet them. We'll look at
Hmm.
their work, we'll see. But and we've had weddings where we've had a fashion and a regular wedding photographer. It's a different world. They're two
Hmm.
totally different skill sets and movement and timing and all of that. So we're real picky about somebody bringing in their own vendor,
Hmm.
especially for something so key as photography. Obviously, it's a delicate situation, especially if it's a
Hmm.
family friend or a friend or something. But I'm like,
Yeah.
let them be a guest. Let them enjoy the day and they can take
Relax. Let them
beautiful,
relax.
candid
Yeah.
photos. And let's leave it to the people that aren't emotionally tied to you. Um, and I do believe that is in the best interest of the client,
Hmm.
and actually for the photographer. But it's not our favorite when someone brings someone out of the industry in. We're going to be, especially photography, that's going to be a hard sell for us, to be
Hmm.
Hmm.
perfectly candid.
Thank you. Okay, let's take the question from Karine. I feel like this is the hot topic about AI.
Uh-oh.
Do you think the
Oh, yeah.
clients can see and understand that AI is used in mood boards and it's not realistic and therefore cannot be made from the technical perspective? What's
No,
your
they don't know. I
experience?
don't understand. Sorry. You opened up my hot topic.
Yeah,
I mean, they send these pictures and I'm like, that's
you cannot
it
make
can't
it.
be done. Like
Yeah.
that's unrealistic. Not even unrealistic, it's impossible. Like that, it does not exist in reality. We can't do that. Um, I mean, this is a socially charged conversation, but AI to can definitely be a tool, 100%. There's so many great things it can do, but it is the bane of the creative's true existence because the client is sending you AI images that they generated with 7 prompts, and then they're wondering why you don't have their design for their wedding done. And we're like, that
Hmm.
is not the same reality. So I don't know if I'm answering your question, but do I think that they can tell the difference between an AI
No.
image and real? No. Or, well, the weird part is now in the beginning, I thought they couldn't tell. Now I think they
Maybe
don't
they just don't want to
care.
tell.
Yeah, they just sort of like, well, it just
Yeah.
is. Like there's a
Mm.
weird acceptance that it's reality when it's not. Before they'd be like, I know I can't really do this, it's AI, but
Mhm.
now they just send them to us. Am I answering that question correctly? I want to make sure.
I think so. I don't know, Corinne, you can elaborate. But yeah, the answer is yes, Barbie. You had an experience with clients sending you like AI
Oh,
references
all,
and asking you like, can we do it? Can we
all the
recreate it?
time, all the time. I'm like,
Hmm.
structurally, that building will fall down. Like, no, you
Yeah.
can't do that. Like, we'll all
I
die
mean,
if it.
yeah, honestly, sometimes I'm so surprised. Sometimes I cannot tell the difference between like some
Oh no,
photos
you
and
have to be really looking at them really closely, but so many of the wedding inspirations they show us, we're like, that's not a real wedding. Like that didn't happen. Like those aren't real
Mhm.
guests, you know. They all look like Brad Pitt or whatever. But it's a disturbing trend.
Yeah. Oh, actually, so Karin elaborated. The
Oh, good.
question is, how do you communicate that with your clients? How can you politely say, like, this is fake, we cannot actually do it,
Uh,
but we can do
is
something much better.
the polite part. Um, we just say that it's the difference between, handcrafted and mass manufactured. It it is the possibilities of what if AI is, but not the possibility. It is not the reality of what can be done. And also within a budget and within a time constraint, like AI is the playground of the world, and there's no financial commitment, there's no time constraints, there's no all the constraints that we live in the real world that make an event happen. So when you apply real world constraints over fantasy, there's a disaster about to happen. So we always say with AI images, oh my God, this is amazing. And a lot of times they are so freaking amazing. What could we take from that we really could do? what about that image do you love? Oh, I love this part. How could I do that in real life? What could we do to make that a possibility?
Yeah.
And try to walk, do the detective work for it. But like we had someone that had like an entire yacht covered in flowers. And we're like, well, no. First of all, I don't know how they're hooked on, and I'm pretty sure the owner of that yacht doesn't want me putting floral wire all over their boat. But she was like, yeah, I want that. And I was like, okay, well, that's going to add to the budget a bit, and the boat's going to sink. But other than that, it's a great idea. So I think you just have, you're kind. You just, like, God, I know we love that too. It's probably not going to work. I don't know. Mostly I try to find out why they like it. I would say with any image, I'm always like, what about that image spoke to you? Why did you find that fascinating? Let's see what
again,
we can
listening and
create.
communication.
Yeah. I feel like communication is the key. It's going to be
It is like we're
the highlight,
detectives.
of our session. Communication with
like,
everyone. Yeah.
Pulling
The
out
deduction
information from
method.
the
Yeah.
client. Right. And right now everybody wants information from the vendor, and they're not willing to give information back from the client. So I feel like it's a little one-way street right now from our clients. And we're all working to keep those doors open because they have their list of AI generated questions. They should ask a florist, and they should ask a photographer, and they should ask a planner. But none of those questions speak to the soul of what the event's supposed to be like. So we work on pulling those questions, getting rid of those and getting into the meat of it as much as we can.
Making it real. Yeah.
Yeah, making it real, trying to make it real.
Make it real. Time flies. It's been an hour already.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much, Barbi. Thank you for all the insights and for the examples, sharing the stories from your work. It's been incredible chatting with you.
Thank you. I wish I had a magic pill, guys. I would take it myself if I did. But keep doing the good work, keep chatting, go to the events, and it'll all eventually start to pan out.
Yeah, and approach it like dating. Yes, communication.
Yep, approach it like dating. There's a lot of people you don't want to be dating. Get rid of those and move on.
Absolutely, yeah.
And don't forget your snacks.
To send you thank yous to Barbi, and thank you everyone who joined us today.
And thanks for taking time out.
Listen to us. Thank you guys, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.
All right. Bye.